welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Timmy's Emporium. Sorry to get so close to you, but maybe we have an intimate video today. Today's video is brought to you by a patron who asked me, Rudy, you made an offhand comment about a month ago, and you claimed that you thought Throne of Eldraine, keep in mind, they have collector boxes, but no set. Throne of Eldraine should be a $1,000 box. Now, was this a typical Rudy off-the-cuff, silly comment? Was this you trying to pump and dump? Was this you trying to show up and fix washer dryers? Is this a stepmom thing? Can you explain, or are you just trying to pump and dump your position? It's a good question, Timmy. Let's go through it. So the funny thing about this video is we're going to go through this conversation with very analytical, try to reduce the memes, no funny stuff today, and we're really not even going to talk about the cards in the set. That's how funny this world is. So immediately that'll trigger a lot of people. How can you know the value of a set if you don't even talk about the cards? I know. That's the best part about the internet. How can you not love the internet? Can you feel that? Like, oh, remember, look up, look to the left, and just look confused, and everybody will believe you. But seriously, folks, today we're going to talk about Throne of Eldraine draft boxes. As of the filming of this video, Throne of Eldraine draft boxes have hit $150 a booster box on the open market using TCG Player and eBay, which I guess is the same company, which is a silly thing now. Okay. First thing, market depth. As of the filming of this, TCG Player has about 40 to 60 boxes that you could buy if you had infinite money glitch, and you can buy every single box. About 30 boxes below $200 a box. 30 boxes. And then after that, you got maybe another 10, 20, 30 of them of people putting silly stuff. $300 a box, $500 a box, $1,000 a box. Yeah. eBay. We got a little bit more. We got some of the big boys on here. We got some listings. eBay, I'd say, looking at some of these quantities, some people probably have circuit breakers or they have more and they relist it. I'd say eBay's got 100 boxes. So let's pretend they're hiding more. So let's double it up. Let's say 200 boxes. So even if we want to be generous, there's 200-300 boxes on the open market. So what? $100 a box? Maybe 20, 30 grand worth of boxes. The entire United States, using English only, of course. So, here's the thing. I view Throne of Eldraine the same way I view Lorwyn and Morningtide type products. Let's talk about the similarities, and let's explain the differences. The differences are the biggest, most outlandish difference is going to be supply. Lorwyn and Morningtide, there is very little left in existence in the world, period. Unless Wizards has that, hey, we forgot we have our warehouse that we pay on every month and the utility bill and the rent. We forgot that we pay that. Har, 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 har. In all reality, the supply is very low on Lorwyn Morningtide era products. The cards in the set have probably a TCG market-ish value of probably between 200 and 300. Maybe minty, gradable, gem mint fresh, maybe 300, 400. These boxes are over 10 years old. Let's just call it 15 years old at this point. It's 2022, am I right? So a box with cards in it, which we're not even going to get into singles, but let's say the value of the cards in the box are 300. That's as close as we're going to touch the name of the cards. So yes, something that's 15 years old, it's going to have probably some sort of EV multiplier or a PE ratio if this was a company. Again, you're going to have some multiplier, probably around 4, 5, 6. So if the cards have a $300, if you crack it, that puts the box price, what, 1,000, maybe 1,500, which is, well, that's about right for Lorwyn and Morningtide. That's where it kind of is. And it deserves to be that expensive, even though the cards aren't worth much, because Lorwyn and Morningtide type products have served their time. They have stood the test of time of 15 years of navigating the world and box openers and YouTubers and evil people who just crack in boxes and sell packs and stores that restock on eBay, then crack them and sell packs in their store. And people do know that's a thing, right? LGSs around the country, they like to stock like one box of each older set. So they'll buy a $1,000 box divided by 36 packs, and they'll add, a margin, and they'll sell each individual pack in their store. And that's one of the ways that a lot of older boxes disappear from restocks of LG. Anyways, so they deserve to have that multiplier because essentially they're old and they've served the time. As we know, as products age, the variance, the alligator mouth gets bigger, the more time that gets shoved inside of her mouth. Giggity? No. So the more time that goes in, the alligator mouth widens further, and the time and the value has a bigger and bigger variance. That's all it is. We're trying to be serious today. Now, Rudy, does Throne of Eldraine deserve a 5x multiplier? Well, Throne of Eldraine is probably worth $80, $90 of the cards in the box. 5x multiplier would put the box price around $400 or $500 range, right? Is Throne of Eldraine today worth $400 or $500? Absolutely not. Is it going to be worth $400 or $500? See, the real title of this video should probably be Throne of Eldraine should be priced about $300 to $400, in my opinion. In the next couple years, when we have the next wave in the market, it'll probably hit that maybe $300 to $500 range. But in a 10-15 year time frame, when you overlap the same amount of time, yes, Throne of Eldraine could easily be a $1,000 box. That is my opinion. But again, you should always speak to a licensed financial advisor, not a guy who uses coupons and haircuts and doesn't have a real job. That's my advice. But remember that, folks. But I think it can get there because it has the same feel and vibe. Ask anybody. Throne of Eldraine was a very special time, just like War of the Spark. These are very successful products. The print runs were very high, and similar to Dominaria, War of the Spark, and Throne of Eldraine were all standard draft boxes that stores and even myself couldn't even keep in stock. There were multiple windows during the 12-month window when I offered it to patrons for $80 a box. There were multiple windows. I had to wait 2-3 weeks because I completely blew through it. Now, let's get to some fun internal data. Throne of Eldraine came out at the end of 2019. I think I offered it for like 10 or 11 months through 2020, or I don't remember where it was, but I remember running out a couple times. I believe I checked my spreadsheet. I did just quick little beep, boop, boop, act like I'm smart. And I estimate during that 1 year when Throne of Eldraine was available, 2019, 2020-ish, I estimate I sold between 5,000 and 10,000 boxes to patrons. And yeah, where are all those boxes? Well, most patrons have told me that they actually, they open their stuff. Some of them flip cards, and some of them just actually like to open and enjoy the cards. I know it's weird, isn't it? So here we are. Coming out of the nasty, cruel summer of 2022 into the third, fourth quarter, and of course everybody says, Rudy, the world's going to end! The Fed's going to raise rates to 69%! The big dip is coming, the big dipper! Your ex can't handle this dip. It's going to be, a typical doomsday. And I think when I checked the mail, there were 3 guys out in the yard with signs saying end is near. Use, black lotuses can't be cleaned with bleach and firewood, and, same thing. I think we're in a time with tremendous opportunity. And I believe, similar to my older videos, Bizarre Baghdad should be $2,000. Scars and Mirrodin was a stupid price at $125. It should be $500 a box. Let's see, what else did I do? I can't remember. You have to Google it all. Alpha Investments, fake news, or speculation. I can't remember all those videos. There's 3,000 videos on the channel. Cut me some slack, folks. But I believe that these era products, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's spending time placing money into collectibles right now. Hell, I don't even think people are buying houses and stock and crypto. I don't think anyone's buying anything. Everyone's like, oh, end of the world, And I'm sitting here and I'm like, when I look at products, even pre-Throne of Eldraine, when's the last time somebody talked about Guilds of Ravnica? When's the last time somebody talked about Ravnica Allegiance? When's the last time somebody talked about War of the Spark? Even in the flashy new era with collector boxes, Throne of Eldraine, Theros Beyond Death, Ikoria, Core 2021, anybody, the least printed collector box I think like ever made for a regular standard set. Ridiculous. I mean, nobody talks about it. Everybody's just rah, negative, our powers combined, we're big Transformer, Power Rangers, and I see this stuff. And when I have these conversations with a patron, and he's telling me, can you just explain it? The simple answer is, the product, Throne of Eldraine, is not worth $1,000 today because there's still a decent amount of boxes moving around and nobody cares. It will be when people care. And 5, 10, 15 years from now, it's very difficult today to understand that Throne of Eldraine will be looked at almost similar to how we look at Lorwyn today. You have to place a lot of time between you and the item because your opinion changes with the more time you shove in between us. I know it still sounds a little gaiety weird, but that's how this stuff works. And I look back at that Throne of Eldraine time, and I remember a lot of people. Set's broken. They're just banning cards. They put cards like Oko, they ban it immediately. They put this card, they ban it immediately. There's collector boxes now. Everything's going to be worthless. There's no secondary market. These things are done. Only do War of the Spark before, Rudy. And I remember. There were tremendous amounts of patrons. I would say at least a quarter of the patrons who refused to even buy it. because they said the days of holding sealed product and doing this or thinking the future this, the future that, people gave up. And when I see the market today, and there's moments in time where there's just tremendous amounts of opportunity, tremendous amounts. And you look at 2021 era products, you can go on Papa Bezos' website and Amazon Wizards Direct, and they are fire selling collector boxes of like Midnight Hunt and Crimson and AFR, and you look at these prices, you're like, whoa. And it's like, do you really think these are going to stay? Or is this going to be another Pokemon in Rudy's bathroom where it's all dead product and it sits for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then in 5 years from now, suddenly everyone's attitude changes, some event occurs, something triggers the market, something happens, and everyone changes. And most likely, because life is volatile and we have a lot of variables, you don't know what variable is going to come in the future. But we know life is very volatile. And you have to be prepared to wake up and some news or something changes or something dramatic happens. Just like they say, day and night. You can't be in the stock market if you can't stomach when the market has a down day. You can't buy into collectibles if you don't love and have a passion for them. Whether they go up or down, if you don't enjoy it, you have no business doing it. Just like stocks, you have to accept that there will be dark nights, just like the bright sunny days. That is part of the rhythm of life. And, we sit here, and I look at Throne of Eldraine, and I feel like it was yesterday. And I'm like, that was 2019 when that happened and first launched. 2019, Throne of Eldraine came out. And here we are, the end of 2022, almost in 2023. And the boxes went from the 80, or publicly 80, they were $90 for most on eBay, plus tax, so $95 for most people. They're $95, and they went to $150. Full disclosure, I don't have any Throne of Eldraine boxes for sale. Don't have any Throne of Eldraine collector boxes for sale. Yes, I did save the last pallet of Throne of Eldraine for myself when it went out of print, and everybody's going crazy and saying, I don't want it anyways. And, it's a flashy era, Rudy. It's all done. The days of this are over with. So yes, full disclosure, I do have a pallet of Throne of Eldraine draft. And yeah, at that time, I think I paid, this was pre-Wizards price increases, so I was selling on the patrons for $80. So yeah, I think at that time, I was paying the lower price. I think I was paying like $76, $77 then. Yeah. So my cost basis is going to be 70. Let's just call it 77. I think it was like, there's change in credit card fees, but let's call it 77. And now, a couple years later, everyone's just, 150 plus tax and shipping. And I still believe, even if you went online right now, like this would be a textbook situation. I'll end the video here because I'm just rambling now. This is a textbook situation. If this was like Amonkhet or Ixalan, where I had missed out, and I was one of the negative Debbie Downers, and I was yelling at cars and trying to be a Karen and yell at everybody and anyone who does anything, I was just trying to attack them. If I was in that position, and I skipped Throne completely, and I saw Throne today on just from all these different LGSs online at 150, this would be a situation where I'd probably have to do what I did with Amonkhet, Ixalan, Rivals, Hour of Devastation, where on those 4 sets, I was the same as everybody else. I was negative, and I refused. I didn't keep any of them at this $80 box. I didn't even keep any. I had to go back and buy on the open market for $1 to $120 a box. Especially Amonkhet. Amonkhet was the worst. That was the one I had to go back, buy a wave at 90 a box, buy another wave at 105, and then bought a final wave at like 125. And I was so irritated at that. Because that was one I had to the patrons for the same thing, for $79 for years. And I'm sorry, that was a lie. I think it was 1 year or like 11 months. It wasn't years. I don't keep any standard box. It rotates. I apologize. And I knew I'd screwed up. And this is a situation today where Amonkhet is what, 250, 300 plus tax, whatever it is online. And Throne of Eldraine is 150 plus tax, right? And if somebody throws 10, 20, 30 grand at it, forget it. The market's done. The boxes will be $200, $300, $400 a box. Because I don't believe at the end of 2022, what we went through, I don't believe the 3,000 LGSs and all the evil investors, which apparently are gone now, and all the evil Rudy people and patrons who are hoarding billions of boxes, I don't think they're sitting on it. I don't believe there are hundreds of thousands of sealed boxes of Throne of Eldraine. I don't even think there's tens of thousands of sealed boxes of Throne of Eldraine. I don't even believe... I'm trying to think, I would be very skeptical Is that even a word? Skeptical? I would be very skeptical if anyone out there even has more than 1,000 boxes of Throne of Eldraine. Because I have about like 804 or 800 or 690 or 790. I got to look it up. Whatever a pallet was back then. I think it was in the 750s to 8. And I consider that a lot. And I don't know if anyone out there even has more than that. That's my opinion. And even at 150 today, if I didn't have any exposure to it, I'd probably have to pull an Amma and Kitty Cat situation and pay the higher price. Last thing in this video, Dominaria was the same way. That was the one that was so successful, they ran out early, and Wizards decided to not reprint it because it was too late in the cycle. They didn't have the print capacity, they couldn't line it up in time. And I was selling those to patrons for $79.99. That was, again, 4 years ago, pre-3 price increases and inflation, all this crap, when the world was more normal. And I remember to the last day, I couldn't even keep that one in stock. That was just like Throne in War. And I remember that was one too. A year later, I was going online just like the patrons. I was buying them on eBay for 90 and 100, 110. And I remember there was one distributor 2 years ago who had 180 boxes left. And I made a deal to buy their last 180 boxes, a Dominaria, after it was out of print. And I remember how pissed I was because they charged me $155 a box to buy over 100, even in bulk like that. I had to pay over $150 a box, plus 2% credit card fee, handling fee, all these other stupid fees. And now Dominaria is almost $300. And I think the moral of this video is, yeah, I still believe in Throne of Eldraine. No, it's not going to make it to 1,000 anytime soon. But yes, it's going to continue to claw slowly and quietly to the 200s, to the 300s. And over the next 5, 10, 15 years, it's going to get very, very expensive and very, very rare. Because all these crashes and problems, people flushed out. In 2020, when the country was closed, people flushed everything. LGSs just were dumping everything online to raise capital. Things were flushed, folks. And here we are. And I think a lot of these products are just not getting the credit, the respect, and the thought process that they deserve. And that's all I have. Hope you enjoyed the video. And that's my thought process. I know we didn't even talk about, I said Oko was banned. That was about it. But it's really, like I said, it's not even that much about the cards in the set. But it's funny, because if you have a minute, folks, go on Dawn Glare and the visualizer. Google Dawn Glare visualizer and look at, like, Morningtide in Lorwyn. And look at the breakdown of the cards of value in the set. And then go look at Throne of Eldraine, the art style, the financial value of the cards. It's very, very similar. It's creepy similar. It's almost identical. And I just can't imagine what 5 or 10 years of time shoved into Throne of Eldraine is going to do to the price. Have a beautiful day.